okay, how is Impington different? It is different, and I've worked in 6 different schools, and I know the work of a lot of different schools, and there isn't one like Impington. What's Impington? We talk about the Impington way. It's a mixture of the jaw-droppingly amazing. There's stuff that goes on at this school that just you wouldn't find in other state secondary schools.
A number of years ago, I was a governor of Impington as well as being a teacher at Impington, and we spent a whole day trying to decide on a motto and a vision and a mission statement. And back then we came up with the 3 I words, which actually are part of the Impington logo now. So inclusive, international and inspirational. And I think that those 3 words are really good for describing Impington.
Impington Village College opened in 1939. The Impington experience has been shared by students attending the college over many generations. This film has been created by current students to give an insight as to what the school is like now compared to what it was like 75 years ago, and how it has evolved, changed and enhanced the minds of many people.
Hi, my name's Hal and I'm in year 7 and I started Impington last year in September. I get up either at 6 o'clock or 7:30. I don't know why I get up at 6 sometimes, it's just a habit, I can't help it. Most days I watch videos on YouTube after I get up, Minecraft videos and card game videos. I have breakfast which is either toast or mango, never both because that's a horrible combination. I get ready for school. I try to organise my bag the night before, but I don't always, but I try. I then walk until I get to the bench and then I wait for my friend. I enjoy walking to school because it's nice to see my friend before lessons. We can talk about Minecraft, card games and what lessons we're not looking forward to. We talk about whether I should waste my money on a PS4. They are very heated debates. Food, we always talk about food. The walk takes about 15 minutes, so plenty of time to talk. He never brings a raincoat, and when I always do, it's funny watching him get soaked when it rains. I like being able to walk independently now as well. My mum used to drive me to the junior school every day. Most of my friends get a free school bus because they near the school but not near enough to walk. I wonder if there were free school buses when it first opened for the students or whether they all had to walk.
I lived in Dry Drayton at that time and we used to come in by coach from Coton, Madingley, Dry Drayton, Girton, from my side of the college. And of course other people came from Waterbeach and Lambridge and Milton.
I used to get to school, I used to cycle because I lived in the village.
I walked to school. As I say, I was only a quarter of a mile away and that was normal.
And it didn't take long, it only took about 5 or 10 minutes because I lived not far away, and we used to leave our bikes at in the bike sheds at the front of the college.
The teachers were absolutely marvellous.
Having been used to having just 2 different teachers in a little village school and having a different teacher for each subject, well, made life a bit more interesting actually.
I'm not like goody standard. Like I usually go along with it because I just don't like the lesson being disrupted because the teacher gets annoyed and then the lesson doesn't go forward and then people get attention and it's not fun. You want to get the lesson over and want to try and learn some kind of thing from it. Hi, I'm Joe. I'm in Year 8 and I've been coming to Impington since 2012.
But why would a cartoonist want to flag up this hypocrisy? Why would the cartoonist want you as someone who's buying the newspaper on their way home to get onto a train to go back to Cambridge when you're there in London? Why would they want you to read that cartoon? What they want you to
Generally the teachers were okay really. Some of them you had some horrible ones.
Some weren't so nice, others were lovely, as you get. All very helpful.
The teacher's really nice, everyone takes them off and they're like, yeah, just starts talking. And the lesson, it means that it doesn't go far. And then the teacher just, I think, if you're a teacher, you need to like make fun lesson, but you also need to make it so you have the will to tell people to shut up when the time comes and not just be like, oh, can you be quiet please, can you be quiet please, just keep doing that and don't give any attention. Because then they'll just keep doing that more and more. Like that.
Well, in those days, you see, you just did as you were told, and there were no sort of arguing. Well, I'd be too frightened to arguing anyway.
Back in then I think it was just detentions or standing outside the staff room and just detention then.
I've never had a detention, but from what I've seen of them, they aren't necessarily that enlightening. You just sit there doing work or nothing for a very amount of lunchtime that really depends less on how naughty you've been and more on who the teacher is and how they feel at the time. Despite all the amount of attention people get, they still keep disrupting the lesson because it won't hurt them at all.
The teachers still could hit people across the knuckles with a ruler.
I dislike getting the cane. I had that on 2 occasions for various misdemeanours.
I had an argument with one of the teachers which wasn't, which was frowned upon in those days, and I got asked to go home. And I got a letter taken to my parents to say I couldn't come to school until I'd apologised to the sports teacher. And I was told I had to do that. So that wasn't very nice, but I had to learn my lesson and didn't do it again.
One of them was peeling potatoes for the next day's dinners, and not with a knife and fork, not with a knife, but there used to be a big drum with a sort of abrasive surface, and you turn a handle and it spins round and rubs all the skin off the potatoes.
Well, I remember a particular boy who was quite naughty and he used to stick his leg out and trip people up, and the teacher caught him red-handed and actually kicked him. I don't think he did it again.
My dance teacher was very strict, and if you didn't remember something you had to face the wall. I remember having to face the wall for an hour.
Used to get lines. That's if you did something wrong, the teacher would give you, say, a line to write out. You had to write it 100 or 200 times, depending on how severe the punishment was.
And the other one is getting on this roof, cleaning the leaves off, and cleaning the leaves out the gutters. What would health and safety say?
Yeah. I mean, as an older person, I wouldn't think that the present school has a discipline that we had. But whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, and I don't even know if it's true.
I'm not a big fan of punishment. I tend to prefer to reward the students who are doing really well, so that those who are not doing what they're supposed to think, oh, I'd rather have a reward than be told off.
Some teachers are really good, like controlling class and stuff. Because like Miss Fair, she manages to have a sense of humour and control the class. It's quite good. Like she just said at the beginning of the year, if I see you talking, I will take your planner. If you do it again, you will get detention. And then we just rolled with that.
students think about others. I think they try and think of their friends, their peers. I think they try and think about some of the adults. I think they could think about some of the adults a bit more. I think that's a common problem, but it equally applies to adults as well, of course. So I think they're really positive. I think they're really good.
So, what did you get in your French exam?
The teacher said I got at least a B, which is good.
That's
but,
good,
yeah, I did well, but I'm not looking forward to the next one in July.
No, isn't that a writing?
No, I think it's another
School would be really boring without friends because
I haven't got my
just
results back.
subject after subject after subject without communication of anyone, it would just be quite boring, and I don't think it would be as good as it has been.
Say I know a lot of people, but I mean, how many of them actually speak to every day is not
A lot of different people in our classes that we didn't know, but we soon got to know them because everyone was friendly.
Coming to this school and with all the other villages around in this catchment area, I made a lot more friends, which I kept for the rest of my life.
Having a lot of friends is annoying as well because you don't have time to be with all of them. So I know, but I don't really go yet.
I liked meeting lots of different people because we came from different areas, so I met sort of new friends.
Most of the friends I had were people who were sport orientated, and because I played football for the school but also played for a higher year as well, so I got to know people from above me as well. And of course, as you go through the school, you get to know people who are younger as well. So you can form groups of people who would mostly be related to a subject like maths or sport, really.
Particularly enjoyed all my friends at school. I've lived in the village all my life, so I've kept many of those friends throughout my life. And I can't say that I had any really bad memories. In those days, I don't know whether you do now, but we had different houses that we were in for sports, and I was sports captain in our particular house, which was Peeps. The names of the houses was Peeps, Cromwell, Brooks and Hereward, all historical figures. And I would like to think I was reasonably popular. I didn't make too many enemies amongst the fellow school pupils.
From PS3 games?
Oh no, like PS2 games.
I think it's the more important thing is to have a group of friends that are really good friends instead of just a huge amount that you just barely talk to. You can fall out very easily in school because at the same time you're very close to everyone, so you get a lot of time to talk.
Too much.
And if they offend you or say something you don't like, then for a small amount of time you can just ignore them. But at the end of the day, they're in the same class, same school, and you have to kind of say sorry and you make up. I have many friends in school who I will see out of school regularly, and I know that when I leave school, go on to sixth form, I know I'll keep in contact with them even if they don't go to the same sixth form.
I've never really seen much point in uniform, even when I was really young. I've never enjoyed wearing uniform, but it's only as I got a bit older that I've sort of seen it as a bit of an injustice.
The uniform that we wore was a Fred Perry blue shirt with a navy blue V-necked shirt or trousers.
When I started here, I used to wear a cap, a blazer with a badge on it, and short grey trousers in the first year.
most of us had hand-me-downs, you know, from other members of the family. And of course, when the war started, we had rationing, so you couldn't buy new clothes. So you had whatever you could get hold of.
It was navy skirts, white blouses, a tie and a jumper.
White shirt and a tie, and a skirt, a navy skirt and a blazer, navy blazer. Yeah. Very smart.
We had navy trousers, light blue polo shirts or shirts, navy jumpers, and I think black shoes, if I remember rightly.
Didn't have to wear uniforms, dear, because that was the beginning of the war, and so they hadn't got anything really organised. But I think as they went on, they gradually had, you know, we could wear little gym slips if we like, with just a little blouse under it, but it wasn't compulsory to do so.
I accept that our uniform isn't as strict as some others. It's a blue or green or possibly even maroon jumper with a blue polo shirt and black underneath. But to me, the principle of telling people how to dress is something I really disagree with.
Okay, I really like uniform. I think that it is a great leveller, as something Adam says. It's a great leveller. It means that everybody is equal and the same.
If you talk to the current Year 11s who don't have to be in uniform, they can turn up to their exams wearing whatever they want to. They say that it's more difficult because they have to think about what they're going to choose to wear in the morning. Whereas at least you guys can, you know, wake up. What should I put on today? Oh, I know, it's my uniform.
I can see some advantages, of course. So, for example, I suppose it does speed up your routine in the morning, and perhaps it puts in your mind a sense of smartness and tidiness. But I just don't think these advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and I think that throughout time people have always disliked their uniform.
I hated wearing uniform. I mean, now actually when I think about it, it's a good thing because everybody looks the same. But back then when I was at school, no, I wanted to wear what I wanted to wear, jeans and everything like that.
I think with everything, yeah, there were times when you rebelled a bit and you'd wear a different colour jumper sometimes, and then you'd get told off by the teachers, and that's how it went really.
You were supposed to wear your uniform, but it wasn't enforced particularly strongly.
I know that many schools are considering going back to more traditional uniforms of shirts and ties and blazers. I don't think that that's very Impington. I think at Impington we're much more about expressing our individuality, and being comfortable enables us to do that much more easily.
I think you've got to look a bit smart, and I think, you know, where you have a uniform, whether it's doing earrings or, you know, whatever, then you have to follow it. But I'm happy with the uniform. I think it's functional and it does what it needs to.
In life, we're not all going to have to be uniformed, except under special circumstances. So I think the principle of telling us how to dress is just wrong, really, as well as being extremely irritating.
Anna?
Sì, signora.
Jamie?
Sì, signora.
Joe?
Sì, signor.
Tia?
Sì, signora.
Yvonne?
It's a museum, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been there, but
I find that lessons nowadays are probably a lot different to those in 1939.
A mí me gusta la historia.
I realised that lessons back then, when schools first opened, were partially gender segregated. Nowadays I like the way the lessons are run, because everyone gets to try everything.
I remember when we had domestic science, which is now cooking, it was girls. The boys at the time took metalwork or woodwork. We never took a lot of notice of the segregation actually, because that was the way it was. The boys did certain subjects, the girls did others.
What do you imagine school is like now different to when you went to school?
Well, I think it is different now because so many subjects now, girls and boys are both taking. Certainly sciences, I think girls are taking, boys are doing cookery, and so yeah.
Languages are just different really to learn, so you do different things to what you would do in any other subject, but I believe that this difference for me is probably slightly more enjoyable than a science, because in a language you do different things every lesson, such as speaking, writing, reading, whereas in something such as science you're always learning facts and equations, and it's a lot harder.
Iñaki, mañana vamos a ir a Bilbao en tren con Katia y Leire. Leire es muy guapa, nos gusta mucho. ¿Qué vamos a visitar? Tenemos que hacer algo guay.
I really like all the language teachers because they do really want you to succeed, and they really try help you achieve the highest possibilities of your achievements.
I did like drama. I just liked Mr. Edwards, I think, the teacher. He made it so very interesting. You know, if we want to go in for a play, he'd make it really nice. You sort of enjoyed doing it. It was really lovely. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it very much.
Santiago. La Catedral de Santiago. La Catedral de Santiago. La Catedral de Santiago. La Plaza.
Sports I liked, football, we used to call it PT. Football, cricket, and running. Cross-country running I like. I really enjoy it.
Anything else, Esme?
I also went there on holiday, and the museums were good, and it's like...
I think the sport is one of the nicest, and having a shower.
Yeah.
After we'd played football, we'd been doing a gymnastic work in the hall, and because in those days we didn't have proper bathrooms, so to be able to exercise and then have a shower was marvellous. I used to have one every day.
ETA, and in Spanish we call it ETA, see? ETA.
I think there is pressure to succeed in lessons, because it will always determine what happens later in life, and even though you don't think that much of what you do now would affect it, it really does.
Well, just learn to, basically there is just learn to read and write, and if you can read and write you've got a better job.
I mean, there are some schools that run like, you know, like on military kind of basis. That's never going to be Impington.
I hope that students will take away a feeling of success, that they've done as well as they possibly can do, a knowledge of their place in the world, what role they're going to take in their future adult life, and to be very clear about what's right, wrong, and to be really positive members of society of the future.
I hope they take away a love of education, a love of learning, and a desire to want to go on and continue improving themselves. Because the notion that you kind of do school, you might do college, and some people go to university, but you do that formal bit and then it's over, is a myth, it's nonsense.
I think students who come to Impington find that they leave feeling inspired to do more than they've ever done before.
When Henry Morris wrote this wonderful piece about what the village college was about it not being, you know, a preparation for life, but a place where life is lived itself, about the never ceasingness of education, I think he was onto really something special, and I think he wrote something that isn't like anywhere else in the country. Because if you go around England, the education system, you cannot find village colleges anywhere else. They only exist in Cambridgeshire. I think it would be unwise to say, look, there won't be any schools because of the internet, because of, like, you know, at that stage everyone will have a microchip that enables them to learn everything instantly from birth, you know, you can just have this kind of instalment in your brain that drops all of Wikipedia, whatever it is in those days, into your brain instantly, and therefore you don't need to go to school. I don't think that will be like that, because let's face it, schools are they're not really about, the learning is there, and it's that formal aspect, and we take on the role that in the past families and small societies would have done. And I think that'll still be there, because I think the function of schooling is as much social and cultural as it is educational. You could probably sit at home with textbooks and learn
everything
that you learn in school. The difference is it'd be a pretty dull way of learning, and you wouldn't benefit from the interaction and how to interact with other people. And I think we'll always need that. Humans are social animals. They need to come together and be amongst other humans. We need that company, and therefore I think schools will be probably strangely similar to what they are today.